How you do, buckaroo? How the heck are you? Oh, mercy. Look, I've got this Urban Chestnut Schnickelfritz Bavarian style WeissBier in a traditional, WeissBier Hefeweizen glass. This one, I think they sold it as a Pilsner, to be honest with you, but look at it. It's shaped like a WeissBier glass. I got it at the Hard Rock in St. Louis. About 7 years ago, maybe longer than that, actually. I'm going to read just a little bit from their can here. The unmistakable characteristics of this Bavarian-style WeissBier are achieved with a yeast that creates a decidedly fruity and phenolic beer. You may also note clove and banana-like aromas and flavors as you pour and enjoy this beer in a tall wheat glass. Yeah. Hard Rock, you can call this glass anything you want, but it is a tall wheat glass. As you can see, it holds exactly a pint of this beautiful beer. It poured beautifully in there, did it not? Banana and clove are what you get. I'm outside on my grill here. I just took off the veg. I had some horseradish, brown sugar carrots, fresh garden carrots. I had some baby potatoes and some corn. Now I've got some chicken breasts that I marinated using a can of this Schnickelfritz. As a matter of fact, among other, there were other things in there, but I did use a can of this. It seems like German styles are underrated these days, unless you're doing a Goza or a Berliner Weiss. Nobody seems to care about traditional German styles, but in my opinion, there's not a craft brewery on the planet doing German styles better than Urban Chestnut. Now, their Revolution series is awesome too. I like what they do, but their Reverend series, paying homage to traditional styles, when they do German beers, nobody in this country does it better, man. I'm here to tell you. The Beer Whisperer has spoken. Yeah, you do get that banana and clove, but what's great about this one isn't necessarily just the flavors, it's how you get them, right? They're just in there in such a way, and the beer, it just finishes so beautifully that it's I don't know, I mean, I'm kind of at a loss for words a rare moment. It's just a beer done well. Several years ago, I'm going to say 20-ish, it seemed like every brew pub at the time did a Hefeweizen, and they did a stout, and then, many had, only 4 styles at that time, but you always saw those two, And of course, with the way craft beer is now, you have just limited options to beer styles. But sometimes it's great to just go back to a classic. I mean, this is a great German beer style, but it really is also a classic American craft beer style, because it is a beer style that made craft beer what it is today. Without so many people doing a great Hefeweizen or a wheat beer at the time, I mean, Boulevard Wheat is really their flagship beer. Unfortunately, a defunct brewery now, but Thomas Kemper, in my opinion, did the best wheat on the planet when they were doing that beer back in the, mid-90s, let's say. It was a while back, man. Maybe early to mid-90s. I can't remember the exact year I was there, but boy, I mean, Thomas Kemper was doing some damn fine beer. Unfortunately, they're now defunct, But it was one of those beer styles that seemed like every craft brewery or brew pub had to have at the time. And now they've kind of gone by the wayside, but I'm glad that this really is one of many flagships from Urban Chestnut. The Schnickelfritz, a classic Bavarian WeissBier. I first had this beer back in 2012 when Seamus and I went to a baseball game. Went to a Cardinals game and I was able to have it. We'd won some tickets and it was awesome. Anyways, I'm not going to drink 16 ounces in front of you. That would probably be overkill. But I just wanted to share this beer with you. If you are a fan of a traditional WeissBier or Hefeweizen, if you're not a trendy craft beer drinker, if you're one of those folks that only drinks what certain people tell you ought to drink or what certain craft beer trends are, then I'm not somebody you ever want to watch, and this isn't a beer you ever want to have. But if you're someone that actually appreciates beer and good American craft beer and traditional German styles, then this is one you shouldn't miss. So if you're a pretentious drinker, bite my ass. If you like good beer, try this one. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, prolific beer drinker, BeerVangelist, Purveyor of Wisdom, and all-around good guy. I didn't script the bite my ass part. That just sort of happened. What'd you think of that? Bite my ass.